Welcome to episode 11 of Super Hot Pepper Seed Germinating. Today is January 13, 2017. So exciting here. Aruga Scorpion Original. I see since yesterday yet another sprout coming out of one of the ones I dug out of one of the pods. Let's see, which one is it? It's this one right here. It's that little white dot. That is, it says that it's sprouted and that it's ready to go and be sown. So it's going to be sown right now. Well, the map chart of pod grouping 1 shows that there's several vacancies here. So I'm going to plant it right besides this Aruga Scorpion that I planted on December 21st, over 2 weeks ago. Alright, I'm going to plant it. Here is the seed. I'm going to plant it. You always try to plant these sprouts sprout down into the soil, but that just makes sense. Oops, it went in there. I'll have to straighten it out. I want to let you know that today is January 13, 2017, and in my area of Southwest Virginia, last year I planted or sowed these a little late meaning I started sowing them in these pods like in the beginning of February. And this year I'm doing it a full month earlier, a little over a month earlier, maybe a month and a half. And we're already starting to get on the outer edges of it being too late to get mature pods that are going to produce a lot of mature pepper plants that are going to produce a lot of pods. It takes 6 months for these to, between the time you plant the seed or sow the seed until you start getting actual fruit or pods off of these that are at the right color. I mean, the pods may come in, they may look full, but they are still green and they need to turn yellow or red or whatever. By that time, it's been 6 months before we start pulling them off. So it's really important to get a good start with super hot peppers. Not so much like jalapenos and other green peppers and less hot peppers you can plant a lot later, and you can sow them indoors in March. But these you need to be at least sowing them in December or January, and we're starting to get to the end of that. So I just thought I'd reiterate that if I hadn't already done so. Well, no seeds were popping. No sprouts on the Carolina Reaper chocolate have sprouted today on the paper towel. But it's just sort of like to reiterate to you that right now this paper towel is feeling a little. It doesn't feel like it's saturated with water anymore. It sort of feels like it's just barely damp. So it's time to put a little bit more water on it to get it saturated with water. Not so much so that it's dripping wet, but so that it's almost dripping wet. Alright, so I've looked at all of the seeds in these paper towels, and only one out of about 30 something seeds actually had a sprout. I just described it and I've put it in here, mapped it out. I'll take one, whatever I can get, Nothing's changed with seed grouping number 1 as far as in new sprouts or anything popping out of the pods today, since yesterday. As you can see, this is since true leaves are really starting to come in good, this is a ghost. The ghosts seem to get their true leaves pretty quick compared to the other ones that were planted roughly about the same time. Pod grouping 2. Nothing's changed other than the true leaves on some of these have gotten a lot bigger just in one day. I mean, look at some of these. It's like, man, I got to get these in cups soon. I think I might leave them in here another night or two because it does really good. They seem to do really good in these, but they do outgrow them real quick. So occasionally you will see a seed that still has its seed casing. A sprout that still has its seed casing. It's hard to see this. still on it. They eventually will fall off. I wouldn't even try to take it off because it might damage the leaf. Here's another one. It's doing the same thing. So now here's grouping 3. Nothing's changed with this one since yesterday either. You'll notice that these two here haven't even come out popped yet, and they were planted on the 3rd. Today is the 13th. They were sown 10 days ago. They haven't popped up yet. So I'm debating on whether to take them, dig them up, put them back on the paper towel, in their paper towels, and let them see if they'll sprout in the next day or two or not. But it's sort of like we're getting kind of close to the end of this season here, where we need to really get the stuff, we need to make sure that we start. We need stuff starting to sprout out of these pods now, because it's just it'll be too late in the season to really get a lot of good peppers off these if we wait much longer. So it's kind of a debate. One thing I will say about that, though, about these two here, is if I've been having good luck digging the ones that weren't popping out. I'll dig them out, stick them back on the paper towels, and then within a day or two they start sprouting. Then I'll stick them back in the pods. So it's that's a very important thing to know, that you can actually save your seeds, put them back in the paper towels, and I like to see my seeds sprout in those paper towels, because that confirms to me that yes, the seed is good, and it's going to eventually produce a sprout and a seedling. So I'm going to start digging. See if I can find it in here. Sometimes they're hard to get to. Sometimes they show up. I'm not having much luck here. But, alright. Wait, is that it right there? No. Not finding it in there. We'll look in here now. Yeah, make sure that you keep the soil from what you dig up back into it, because the seed actually might still be in there somewhere and you didn't see it, and then it might cross-contaminate a nearby pod. So I'm going to try this one here. Nothing in here so far. Wait, is that it? Not having much luck here. There it is, right here. Take it. Put it on there so I don't lose track of what it is. And I'll put it back in the paper towel in a minute. Alright, so I'm going to take it, stick it on the Trinity Scorpion Sweet paper towel. Something about the soil being around it and the moisture on these paper towels seems to help, actually improves the chances that it will sprout, at least from my experience here. So this paper towel feels just slightly not damp enough. It needs to have more water on it so that it is just saturated. Don't forget to exit out to show that it's now vacant. Thing could be used again. I'll probably just draw another map of this and show them empty so this thing doesn't look so confusing. But like it tells me right now I got 1, 2, 3, 4 vacancies if I wanted to put more seeds in. But like I said, it's mid-January now. We're right on the edge of it being like, yeah, well, maybe we don't plant any more seeds. Like I said, because of such long maturity time it takes to get these pods to go, start growing. These aren't going to start producing anything until like about July. July. And last year, when I planted them in February, I wasn't getting any pods off of these until like sometime in August, and it was starting to get like kind of late in the season, so I didn't get as many as I wanted. So I'm just trying to be as efficient. I'm trying to get the most production out of each one of these plants as I can. That's why I'm planting them this early. For the record, here is pod groupings 1, 2, and 3 for January 13th, 2017. I'm doing this mainly to compare, day to day, if I end up showing comparisons in future episodes. So it looks like I need to water down some of these pods that are kind of dry before I put them under the dome. I'll do that before I put them under the dome. Okay, so I've got them up here, getting ready to put them under the dome. I've got pod grouping 3, 2, and 1 tonight. Try to alternate them as far as the distance to the heat lamp or the grow light. And also, like I've said in previous episodes, if they were previously growing towards the light the previous day, then I try to get them in the other direction so they'll grow up straight. If you have heat or grow lights that can't be directly above, I would like to get these directly above, but I can't. So that's how I can try to get them to grow as straight as I can. Alright, domes are on for January 13, 2017. One thing that I'd like to let you know, if it's not already obvious, is that if you're doing this, you need to be looking at these every day, and at the seedlings, particularly as they're sowing. It's very important to monitor what's going on with them daily and treat them almost like they're little babies. That way you're going to get the best and the most out of them. Otherwise, things can quickly go awry if you're not monitoring them daily. Seedling count, since I started this back in late December, yesterday it was 55 seedlings that have popped through the soil since I started this. Today it's still 55. But all the seedlings are getting bigger that have popped. Previous 3 or 4 episodes I have shown you the cups that I have underneath this light LED light contraption thing. But I have moved them. So I am moving them to a new location. I'm going to see whether or not I get better growth under another light configuration I have set up over here. I'll share in a second. Okay, well, here it is. I think that I'm getting much better light. This is an LED light that I have. And looks like a grow light, but it's really an LED light. It's pretty bright. And so I've put those 7 cups under here. And I'm going to, each one of these cups also has water, has holes in the bottom, slots in the bottom. What I'm doing is feeding them water down here. So basically, as the roots of these get deeper and deeper, the water from down here it'll always keep the moisture in where the roots are growing down low. So it'll suck up what it needs and through the water in the trays. I also did get a germinating mat, a heat mat, and I have yet to use it yet. I'm going to start using it tonight. I'm going to try to figure it out. As I got it underneath all this right now. It also has a thermostat that'll keep the mat thermostatically controlled to the ideal temperature around 84 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. I hear that you get better root growth when the temperatures are in that temperature range in the soil. Well, that's it for episode number 10, I think it is. Please subscribe if you are enjoying this. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.